It turns out that cancers suppress immune responses. So what's going on here is this precancer is cranking out proteins that turns the killer T cells into stoners. Instead of doing their job, they just sitting there.
Hello, Inovians. For once, it ain't all about COVID-19. We actually have an official release with regards to one of Inovio's late-stage clinical trial drugs, which has been in the works for years. Is there finally light at the end of this tunnel, per se? And what's going to drive this forward to potential commercialization within 2022? This is potentially one of the biggest catalysts for the stock moving forward, and one, in my opinion, does have a big potential addressable market that I will drill into in this video. Stay tuned for this deep drill and more. Keep it simple. Well. Gene Kim has been hitting it, and he's been hitting it right out of the park. Back on the 5th of November, Inovio announced that Gene Kim will be appointed as the new Chief Corporate Affairs Officer and will oversee all communication functions for Inovio, including investor and, more importantly, public relations. In the latest press release, which is on the progress of what I would call their flagship vaccine candidate, if you omit INO 4800 from the mix, that is, and they provide some key updates that I strongly believe in the next few quarters could trigger a nice run on the stock. Remember, I ain't no financial advisor, I'm just a simple trader, so no more plugging, and let's start drilling. On 14th of December, Inovio releases a brutal mighty update on the VGX3100, which I must say has been in the works for years. So why am I now pumped? Well, they announced key updates on VGX3100, which include Reveal 2, which is Inovio's second global phase 3 clinical trial of VGX3100 for cervical HSIL, is now fully enrolled, and check this, top line efficacy and safety data are expected to be available in the second half of 2022. By this kind of timeline, we could actually have not one but two shots at a first commercialization for Inovio next year if INO 4800 also goes to current plan. Then Reveal 1, in which Inovio completed the 52-week safety follow-up of participants. In the Reveal 1, the safety profile of VGX3100 observed at week 36 remained well tolerated through week 88. In addition to this, the participants treated with VGX3100 who met the primary endpoint at week 36 remained clear, yes, clear, of HPV 16 and HPV 18 at week 88. Boom! Dr. Kim's commentary in this press release is exactly why I believe once approved VGX3100 will be game-changing. We are making strong progress in developing Inovio's immunotherapies treating HPV-associated cervical HSIL. Left untreated, cervical HSIL may progress to cancer. VGX3100 has the potential to be the first approved immunotherapy and non-surgical alternative for women with cervical HSIL, and we look forward to advancing our efforts from our phase 3 studies through commercialization. The Apollo Bio partnership within China, which again could help to promote VGX3100 quickly through the final hurdles, and although Apollo Bio will have the exclusive rights to commercialize within the Greater China region, the actual data is what Inovio needs, and is what I believe could help to advance their own BLA applications in the rest of the world. Boom! Okay, so what is HPV and what is the addressable market potential? First, HPV, according to the WHO, is a group of viruses that are extremely common worldwide, and there are more than 100 types of HPV, of which 14 are cancer-causing, meaning over 14% of HPV is potentially cancer-causing. HPV are mainly transmitted through sexual contact, and most people are infected with HPV shortly after sexual activity. Now, this is key. Cervical cancer is caused by sexually acquired infection with certain types of HPV, and two types of HPV, 16 and 18, cause 70% of cervical cancers and precancerous cervical lesions.
It might surprise you to know, it surprised me, that the link between HPV and cervical cancer is bigger than the link between smoking and lung cancer.
Here are some figures to chew on. Cervical cancer is the 4th most common cancer among women globally, and with an estimated 570,000 new cases in 2018. However, nearly 90% of the 311,000 deaths worldwide in 2018 occurred in LMICs, low middle income countries. This suggests maybe one of two things. In LMICs, the standard of care and cost of surgery is either too high or simply unavailable. Now, there are currently 3 vaccines commercialized for use within the US, and they include Gardasil and Gardasil 9, developed and commercialized by Merck, and Cervarix, developed and commercialized by GSK. These are big pharma, which suggests the space is very much in their control. Nevertheless, what do the figures say? Let's just take a look at Merck, and in their recent third quarter results we see that Gardasil and Gardasil 9 sales grew 68%. To check this, $2 billion year over year. This is simply astronomical growth for a vaccine that was first approved in 2006 for Gardasil and 2014 for Gardasil 9. This means one thing: if we look at the bigger picture, and that is potentially, once commercialized, VGX3100 could be a long-term cash cow for Inovio. But, and this is a big but, those examples are vaccines for the prevention of HPV. VGX3100, as we Inovians know, is actually an immunotherapy, meaning it is designed to treat HPV.
Okay, maybe you're sitting there thinking, isn't there already an HPV vaccine? There is, but it's a preventive vaccine. Preventive vaccines prevent infections. So that means you have to give it to someone who has never been exposed to HPV, someone who's never had sex. Let me tell you the difference between preventive vaccines and therapeutic vaccines. They both make an immune response, but a preventive vaccine prevents you from getting something. A therapeutic vaccine treats something you've already got.
What else is there to treat high-risk types of HPV 16 and 18? According to the American Cancer Society, there is nothing that treats HPV. Although most HPV infections go away on their own, some will and can develop into cancers, as we previously noted. So, VGX3100 could be the first go-to non-invasive, meaning rule out surgery altogether, immunotherapy for HPV 16 and 18. Think about that. It's a game changer that has been long awaited.
Last month, we reported results in a big clinical trial. We had tested a therapeutic vaccine made by a biotech company called Inovio. We tested it in women with HPV cervical precancers. We cured half the patients.
According to the latest investor presentation, this slide says it all. There are currently an estimated 80 million Americans infected with HPV alone, with 14 million new infections annually and 7 million being high-risk HPV 16 and 18 infections. The figure that eventually turns into cancer is exactly like this inverted pyramid, but the issue is no one can predict which or when a HPV infection will turn cancerous. The current standard of care is basically surgery that has lots of issues and complications, let alone the economic burden, which is why VGX3100 can still be the first non-invasive treatment for cervical precancer. I really think around $5 would be the max pain, since everything below this would mean all kinds of frenzied buying. Since the stock went sub $10, I've been loading in regularly. I believe, and strongly believe, the price is going to shoot up to triple digits once we have a commercialized COVID vaccine. On the other hand, one big reason why I believe the stock was dropping is the shorting on the dark pools, as Fintel recorded the short ratio on dark pool volume dropped to 25% on Friday, which is a level we have not seen for some time, and that's probably why the stock popped 8% on the day. Hold no fear, since the reported overall short on current float is still extremely high and has not moved at over 22%. To summarize, with 2021 finally coming to an end, we Inovians have plenty to look forward to next year.
It's a much shorter safety follow-up trial, so the primary efficacy readout is at week 36, and there's a 1 month follow-up in Reveal 2. in safety other than compared to 1 year follow-up by Reveal 1. So we expect to have the full data set in the second half of next year. So with those two data set in hand, with our biomarker work that we're doing now, we feel that we will be in position for a BLA application if Reveal 2 is in line with our expectation in 2023. So it's been a long haul, and we've been methodically developing this program. But I think the light is at the end of the tunnel, and we're very much looking forward to executing the completion of both Reveal 1 full data set and Reveal 2 as a following.
And if this happens, the stock, in my opinion, will have already run up to potential triple digits on the data readouts, initial contracts and orders, and various approvals worldwide alone. VGX3100 could be the game changer for the fourth most common cancer in women in the world, and this would mark a huge step in human medicinal evolution that would also open the floodgates to the rest of Inovio's DNA platform and pipeline. Basically, proof of concept would be right there, and worldwide domination could ensue.
What you need to know is that this had never been done before in humans. This trial was a stand-up double because it showed that it's possible to use a therapeutic vaccine to get a person's immune system to get rid of precancerous cells. And we have every reason to think that we can tweak the system to get the cure rates even higher. What about other cancers? It turns out that at least 20% of human cancers are caused by a specific infection. So that raises the possibility of being able to either prevent or treat disease by focusing a person's immune response to the infection.
Thanks for watching, and please note, at sub $10, Inovio is on Christmas sale right now, so please take this drill with precaution and always do your own DD. If you found this video informative, then do me a simple favor and consider subscribing to my channel so you get a pop-up when a new video is uploaded. I am a simple trader. I try to keep this simple, and will simply see you in the next video.